The Nikon ZR images just got leaked, and I have some crazy, very interesting interpretations of what those photos tell us. Also, I have some information on when this camera is likely to hit the market for you to buy from the retail store. At the same time, whether this camera is going to have IBIS or not. Those things are not from the usual rumor sites. Those are my direct sources. So very interesting things, right? First of all, let me tell you, you can clearly see that there are 4 buttons on the top deck. One is a red record button, then there are 3 other buttons. One is ISO, then WB, which is white balance, and then disc or display button. Easy to access on the top deck. You quickly do your thing and you get the right settings. You also have a scan and cam lever. What is a scan and cam lever? We'll talk about that going forward. But you have that scan and cam lever on this camera that's visible. We can also see there's a accessory rail. I think it's not a usual hot shoe. It looks like an accessory rail where you basically slide in a handle, a monitor, an XLR device on the top slot itself. It's more like what Sony has done in the Cine bodies. There also seems to be, I think, a tally light on the camera, and it better be because this is apparently a Cine body. The rumors say that the Nikon is going to give us this time 6K intra-frame recording. Mind you, we do have 6K intra-frame recording, but in the form of ProRes HQ in the current Z bodies. We do not have in H.264 or H.265, and those are slightly lighter and easier files. The ProRes files are usually much bigger, although they're fantastic too and very smooth to edit. But intra-frame codes are generally very easy to edit. So I'm guessing we're going to have a H.265 6K intra-frame 42 to 10 bit without any crop. I think that's what you're going to see. I do not know whether RAW is going to be part of this camera because this is a small body and it seems to not have a CF Express card. It's probably going to have an SD card and a micro SD card as per rumors. But at the same time, we have seen Nikon have actually used RAW for their for the Z5 II, and it doesn't have CF Express. That camera has SD cards as well. If you look closely, you will see some in the design of the camera, there seems to be vents visible. So thermal management and reliability has been something that they have taken care of because of the small form factor that becomes important. What is surprising is that despite all of that, the camera looks really small, and they actually pair it with the new 24-70 2.8, the non-extendable and very light, the lightest 24-70 2.8 that's out there. It all now makes sense why Nikon launched the 24-70 2.8, the new version 2. It's going to be a very light setup there for this camera. Okay, about thermal management, multiple vent slots along the top and the right side. Seems like a deliberate heat path for long 6K recording. It is going to be a camera that is designed to give you long full frame 6K 6 recording in 10-bit 422 all intra, which means these are heavy files. I am not sure whether we're going to have 4K 120 uncropped. I think ZR should definitely have 4K 120, especially when the C50 have 4K 120 uncropped. Nikon should not compromise, and even if there is a time limit, because 120 you are not going to keep shooting it forever. So even if there's a 30-minute time limit for 4K 120, I'm fine, but there should be 4K 120. And also because there is expectation of thermal management, even if the camera overheats, for it to cool down, it should take less. I'm expecting highest end 6K 60 for about an hour without a problem on this camera. One big thing that I have noticed in this camera is a massive screen. It's so visible on this camera. My interpretation is that it's going to have a lot of monitoring tools, and the monitoring tools are going to be flexible. I'm expecting exposure and scopes like waveform, vector scope, RGB per rate, zebras, basically expandable and movable zebras, which is already there with update on the Z8. But I don't want to go inside the menu and then change the size of the zebra. I want to do it on the go. I'm also expecting much better, much more advanced LUT preview on this camera, which is something not available on any other Nikon camera at this point. Going back to the card matter, I think, yeah, even if there are 2 SD card slots and one of them is micro SD, Nikon have been criticized for not allowing video recording on both card slots. Since this is a professional Cine style body, Nikon should allow that this time. Maybe even a smaller file, maybe 10-bit 422 on one slot, on the other slot maybe that is restricted to 10-bit 420, a relatively smaller bitrate file. But as long as you have some backup, right, that's important. So I think this is going to be a purpose-built cinema body from Nikon for the first time. And as the situations change, as they move towards shooting more high-end videos in more tricky situations, this camera sounds like just the right thing for that audience. The Z6 III was the first step towards it. I don't think the Z8 to Z10 was the first step towards it. Those are expensive cameras, larger bodies. The Z6 III with the flip out screen was the right step towards that, and I did not expect the Nikon would actually come back within about a year of the Z6 III launch with something like the ZR. So this is very aggressive by Nikon, and this is very, very optimistic for Nikon users. Let's talk about cam and scan button a bit. Okay, so cam is a camera mode. When you're in the cam mode, you can use the top deck ISO WB and display buttons as ISO WB, white balance and display button. If you want to move to scan layer, flick the lever and move from cam position to scan position. What you are going to have is basically those same switches, those same top deck buttons change to something else, and we should be able to go inside the menu and set them. For example, the white balance button can become an exposure monitoring tool button. It may help me control maybe a waveform or false color, LUTs, things like that. So even possibly anamorphic de-squeeze. That's one more thing. I'm very interested to know whether Nikon is going to finally give us anamorphic de-squeeze option in the camera. I'm also expecting to see some 6K open gate. Honestly, I think it's time that Nikon moves that direction. Even if they limit it to 30 frames a second, it should begin somewhere, and I think ZR is the right. ZR to me is a package of promise, okay, and therefore I'm expecting a lot of new things to happen, even if they are not the best possible version of that feature. Whatever Nikon have not done yet, Nikon should begin those things. For example, anamorphic, for example, much advanced monitoring tools, internal LUTs, possibly even internal ND, I don't know. Those things that Nikon have never done. This is the one camera where you begin the journey. Of course, you can improve on all of those new features in the next iteration or when the X-Speed 8 comes out. So improve on what you have already done, take the first or second steps on, and take new baby steps on completing new features and capabilities. And that's my expectation and that should be the ZR story essentially. I absolutely love the fact that it's going to have a top handle, and it's going to allow a top rail for brand native and also third party handle tally solutions, XLR solutions, and that makes it very, very interesting. We all know that it is going to be that partially stacked sensor. So we want to see if Nikon can eke out a bit more dynamic range on this body, and that's to me is going to be important, and that's where I think Red's contribution with its log curve or even Red draw. I'm expecting a lot of Red technology in this camera that's going to take care of these things. Clearly the sensor allows for a 15 plus stops of dynamic range. Can Nikon not slow down the read speed as much of the sensor but still give us about 15 plus stops of dynamic range with some Red magic? I don't know, some Nikon magic, I don't know, but that's what I'm expecting right now. So part of this video has been about what I've seen on the pictures, what's been available there. I'm going to reveal to you some more things about what I know about the pricing, what I know about when it's going to be launched, and whether it's going to have an IBIS system inside the camera or not. We're going to talk about that, but before that, do subscribe to the channel. Help me reach 10,000 subscribers. I adore you guys for helping me reach almost 7,500 subscribers. Not easy for a non-native English speaker and connect with audiences all over the world, but I try. Okay, now let's talk about the price first. I think price is going to be around 2,500. Initially, I was thinking, I had heard that it's going to be priced around $2,000 price mark. I'm not sure about that right now because the S1 II has put the price bar higher, and it allows for other camera brands with much more equity like Nikon, much more brand pull like Nikon to therefore do that. So I'm expecting minimum 2,500, but realistically, it may even go up to 26 to 2,800. The C50 pricing is going to be important as well, but the Pixis is priced at around 2,800. So I'm expecting it between 25 to 2,800 US dollars, and with the US tariffs and everything that's going on for the US customers, it may go into the 3,000 US dollars price bracket. So that's about pricing. I think it's going to be available to the retail buyers in the month of November, early November to mid-November. We're going to see the launch very soon. In the next couple of days, we're going to see a lot of videos from the usual suspects: Matt, Irwin, Richie, and a lot of other Nikon guys. I'm guessing some of the Sony users and Canon users will also get this camera, and the usual shills should also get this camera because they're open to anything. I think we're going to see a lot of conversation on this camera from mid-September to end October, and the camera is going to be available to you guys at around somewhere starting November. About IBIS, honestly, bit of a disappointment. I'm hearing, I mean, the rumors all said that it's going to have IBIS, but when I first saw the body, I had a bit of doubt because it is small. It uses the Z30 sensor. All they need to do to ensure that it has an IBIS is to sort of make the camera taller by a little bit and make the camera wider by a little bit. Okay, I think they've done that for thermal reasons, but I'm not sure if this camera has IBIS because I've heard otherwise. I've heard from a trusted source that someone who had told me a long time back that there's going to be a camera like a ZR coming in. I'm hearing that it's not going to have IBIS, so bit of a bummer for me personally. For a lot of ultra professional shooters, all of you guys, it doesn't matter. You're going to use a gimbal, you're going to use tripods, you're going to use stabilizers, huge rigs. I don't do that. I rely on the IBIS a lot, which is why I'm considering the Lumix system also. If IBIS is not there, it's going to be a bit of a letdown for me personally, but even without IBIS, it's a crazy camera. Even if Nikon tones down the IBIS and gives us 6.5 stops IBIS, but keeps it in the body, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be a real winner for us. Let's see. We're going to see a lot more by tomorrow. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what you want to ask me. I have opened up the channel for membership. You can join, and a very small fee that you have to pay monthly, and I'll be able to interact with you better, more, even personally through via mail, Instagram chat and stuff like that. Also, there will be a few members only videos, special members only videos coming soon on this channel. So look forward to a lot of new things, and yeah, going to see you soon with that.